Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wayne Schmitd, and I'd like to thank everybody for attending this webinar on how to improve your cash flow and reduce your bookkeeping fees down. The webinar is put on by Unicorn Business Solutions. I want to thank them so much. I'm Wayne Schmitd, and I'm going to be your presenter today. A little bit of an overview on how the webinar will be running. For those who are not used to GoToMeeting, on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll have a little GoToWebinar control panel. You can expand or collapse that control panel using the little orange button. You can type questions at any stage simply by typing a question into the question box, hit send. I'll then be able to read your question and I'll answer it. If you can try and hold your questions to the end of the webinar should go for about 45 minutes. It just makes the flow a little bit quicker. So if you can hold your questions off, we've got plenty of time at the end of the webinar to answer all the questions. If you have got anything open at the moment, such as your email client, make sure you close that by going and opening up your email and clicking File and Exit, not just minimizing. Close down anything that's using internet bandwidth simply because we've got a lot on today, so we want to make sure that we maximize the event. Sorry about that, I'm just getting a phone call right in the middle of the webinar. And I think I've just lost everybody. Is everybody okay? Sorry about that. I just got a phone call just halfway through it. My apologies on that. Hi, I'm Wayne Schmitd. I'm an SME, small business owner, just like yourself. A couple of things about myself. I was basically the person that brought Xero into Australia. Probably number one. Started Xero in 2009 and brought Xero to Australia. Previous to that, I've worked for other software vendors such as MYB and Reckon. I was the general manager of MYB and I was also head of sales for Reckon. Most of my life has been working with and dealing with small business owners with accounting software. So about 25 odd years working in the accounting industry, specifically helping small business owners work with accounting software. And what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about the cloud. What is the cloud, how it works, and then we're going to talk about how you use Xero and how you can use Xero as a cloud accounting product to help improve your cash flow, also how to reduce your bookkeeping costs, and how to have real-time accounting so you can understand what's happening in your business real time. So let's have a little bit of a chat first of all about what is cloud. So if you think about it, who here uses the cloud right now? If you think, do any of you do things like use Gmail, Yahoo Mail? Do you go and use social media like Facebook and Twitter? Go out and use Google? Does anybody here use internet banking where you open up and do your banking from your Internet Explorer, from your browser? You're actually using cloud when you're using internet banking. The cloud, and the true definition of cloud, is using somebody else's computer to do the work for you. So what you're doing is you're using the bank's computers and you access it via a browser using the internet. Does that make sense? So you're using the bank's computers, using the internet, and you access it via a browser. Now, there's lots of benefits for you doing it that way. It means you can do your banking obviously anywhere and you don't have to worry about your security. Everybody does online banking these days. So what benefits does the cloud bring to us as people? Lots of benefits. First thing is you can have an Apple at home computer, you can have a Mac computer, or you can have a PC at work and they just work seamlessly because it's just a browser that you're using. You don't have to worry about upgrading your computers anymore, so it's not dependent on the computer for speed. It's far more secure because if you think about your banking, right now you do internet banking and you're quite comfortable about the security there. So you don't have to worry about doing backups anymore. You don't have to worry about your security anymore. You don't have to worry about having mixed hardware or upgrading your computers. And the great thing is, it means that you can start working with real-time accounting. So you can start working with companies like, accounting firms like Unicorn Business Solutions for them to work with you in real time. So it means that they've now got a real-time snapshot of you. So it means you, your bookkeeper, and your accountant can work in real time. And therefore, you can start doing things like improving your cash flow by getting paid faster. So let's have a little chat about that. We'll talk a little bit about how you can improve that. Sorry, someone just keeps calling me. My apologies on that. Sorry about that. let's talk about Xero. So Xero is the world's leading online accounting system. It's delivered via the internet and accessed via a browser. Just works anywhere, anytime, any device. Lots of benefits for you. You don't have to worry about installing software or anything like that. Now, Xero is a multi-user product. What's that mean to you? You don't have to pay per user. So that means you can have as many people using the software as you like. So that means your bookkeeper, yourself, your accountant, all can be using the software at the same time. You don't pay per license. So you don't have to worry. And each person can have different access rights. So maybe you've got somebody that wants to be able to just look at the reports while someone's doing data entry, while your bookkeeper's, going and chasing up all your debtors, and your accountant's then having an overview of it all. And the good thing about Xero is it's low priced. It's about $50 to $60 a month. That's less than what most people pay for a set of tax tables with desktop software. The other big benefit, when you think about the value you get, you save money straight away simply by not having to do data entry. If you think about how much time you spend doing data entry every day, or you pay a bookkeeper to do that data entry, you can improve that. So Xero's got a fully integrated payroll. I'm going to talk about that. And that means you can now start approving your payrolls anywhere, anytime. So I've just been traveling recently and I was able to approve my payroll for my staff on my phone, which is fantastic. You can get people to pay you straight away on your phone. And the secret sauce for Xero is what we call the bank feeds, live daily bank feeds. If you imagine this is your process right now, at the start of every day or maybe once a week or at the end of the month, the bank prints you out and mails you a bank statement. So they mail you that bank statement. Then what you do is you then do a bank rec. So the bank statement was electronic. It was sitting electronically in the bank and they mail it to you and then you retype it back into your accounting system. And you either you do it or you pay someone else to do it. That's inefficient. What Xero does is get a live daily bank feed so that each morning you open up Xero and there's the transactions from your bank in Xero, straight away ready for you to reconcile. You've saved the cost of Xero simply by having the bank feed because you spend more than that just getting someone to do a bank rec. Now the data's in there. The good thing about this is, think about this, you now don't have to worry about rekeying errors. You can now start actually running your business and using your accounting system for what you really should be doing, which is getting better business insights. So if we have a look at Xero, it's now a huge organisation. It's got offices in Australia, New Zealand, UK, and the USA. It's over 330,000 companies use it. They count not users because remember with Xero, you don't pay per user, so you can have as many people as you like using the product. So it's a well-respected brand, well-respected company. And the best thing is with Xero is let's go and have a demonstration of it. So what I'm going to do is go through and give you a day in the life of a small business owner and how they would work with their accountant and how would they work with their clients with the aim of, getting paid faster, reducing their data entry costs, and using it so they can get better business insights. So what I'm going to do is just go and open Xero. I'm just going to bring this screen up for you. And this is the main screen on Xero. So I've made it quite large for you, so I hope you can all see that. Now it's browser-based. Now what's the benefit of browsers? Remember, that means there's nothing for you to install. So it supports all the major browsers, so Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. Means that what's the benefit again to you? Don't have to worry about upgrading your hardware. You can have a mixed environment, PCs and Macs, and you can just run this anywhere. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to worry about doing backups or anything. Lots of benefits. So in this example, I'm using Google Chrome, and I've just got it into presenter mode just so it makes it a little bit easier. It's going to be a day in the life of a small business owner. That's myself. I'm a small business owner, and I'm working with my accountant, Unicorn Business Solutions. First thing I want to do is do some work with Xero. So I'm going to hit the login button. So I come in and log in over here. Bank level security, which is really important. So it encrypts your keystrokes as you type them. And that's really important. and it's so much more distinctly different to traditional desktop software, which is very unsecure because your password's easily cracked. Here, because Xero's getting data from the banks each morning, it's got bank level security. What I'm going to do is just make that screen a little bit big for you. And welcome to the main screen of Xero. So this is the main dashboard. This is where you get a full overview. Who here actually knows what's the balance in your bank right now? And does that balance equate to the same balance as your accounting system? Here's the disconnect you can see straight away. So Xero, straight away, has got your bank balance in it. So it means that you don't have to rekey all that data, so you save yourself time, and you can now start doing real-time accounting. Real-time accounting, so you actually know where your cash flow is now, who's paid you, who hasn't, how's your business going. So Xero gets daily bank feeds from all the major banks and financial institutions, credit cards, PayPal. So you can see the balance in the bank, balance in Xero, and we need to do a bank reconciliation. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have an accounts watch list. So you can set up some accounts that you might want to watch, maybe a sales account or a specific expense item that you'd like to watch. Then you have money coming in and then money going out. So straight away from this screen, I can get an immediate overview of this company. Doesn't have much money in the bank, is overdue a lot of money, and needs to pay some bills now. Standard small business, a little bit of a cash flow problem. Now, what we'd normally do is you should straight away do a bank rec. Now, most people don't tend to do their bank rec. You either do it once a day, once a week, once a month. At the end of the year, give it to Unicorn and they do it for you. The problem is then you've lost real-time accounting, so you don't know your cash position and you don't know your cash flow. And you've lost all that magical business insight that you can get from your accounting product. So the first thing we're going to do is a bank rec. I'm going to show you how quickly you can do a bank rec, because bank recs add you no value in your business. Your bookkeeper should be trying to get the bank rec done as quickly as possible so that they can then do that nice value add, like maybe get paid faster by chasing up all your debtors instead. So let's do a bank rec. I'm going to pull up the bank reconciliation screen. Make that a little bit bigger for everybody so they can all see. So on the left-hand side of the screen, these are the transactions that have come through from the bank. So they've been imported in, ready for you to reconcile. So you saved your $60 straight away that you pay in Xero by not having to rekey that. On the right-hand side of the screen are the transactions that have come through that are in Xero. So Xero is intelligent, so it notices that we've received here just over $6,000 from Ridgeway University. And we've got a transaction in Xero for Ridgeway University, same amount. Still need a human to make sure that the GST and all the coding is correct. So you go and say that's a match, okay. Now you notice we spent $1,100 with Truxton Property. There's a match there. So again, go okay. Because remember, bank rec's about get the data in quickly. Now you notice we spent $4,500 with Smart Agency, but there's no transactions here in Xero. Now, you'd never pay somebody unless there was a bill. So what we hit is, if I hit find and match, what you can see is that I've actually paid Smart Agency on the one line item. So I hit those two, go OK, and I can match them. Now, the great thing about this too is Xero handles all those unders and overs. Don't you love it when someone maybe overpays you 2 cents or underpays you 2 cents? It's a rounding error. You don't want to spend $45 an hour to find that rounding error. So it'll handle all those little unders and overs as well. But that's a match, so I go OK, and I've now got that in. Now, at some stage, you are going to get transactions where maybe you're not too sure. I've received $100 here from Citizen Limousines, but I'm not too sure how I want to code that. So this is where you can start collaborating, accountants and bookkeepers and small business owners in real time, so you can collaborate more efficiently. So maybe you're not too sure how you want to code it, so you can hit the discuss button, and then that will appear on the screen for, here in this case, Unicorn Business Solutions, and it'll appear on their screen. So it means you can work with your accountant to say, how should I code this? And there's going to be those types of transactions. Transactions like things like When you get insurance, the GST is exactly the same. Or maybe you've just bought some plant and equipment and you're not too sure how to allocate the lease payments on it. So you can hit the discuss button and talk real time. Let's continue through. Here's another one I'm just going to match off. But at some stage, you're going to get a transaction that isn't in your accounting product. Now, normally in traditional desktop products, that's a real pain because what you've got to do is get out of the bank rec, go into create a spend money transaction, come back to the bank rec, and that's not time efficient. So what I'm going to do here is I've spent $15 with Cooper Street Bakery. So if I go and create the transaction on the fly, Cooper Street Bakery, entertainment, team coffee. Now I can apply the GST, etc., but I'm just going to, so okay. Now what I want you to think about is, imagine it's tomorrow. So if we log into Xero tomorrow, Xero starts learning about our behaviours. So if you notice on the 13th of August, I spent $11.90 with Cooper Street Bakery. So it'll come up and say, hey, did you take the team out for coffee again? So it'll start learning your behaviours. It's all about getting those transactions in really quickly. How often do you enter the same transaction in every month? And there's lots of those. One of those is called rent. Rent never changes for the whole year, and yet you have to pay to keep putting those transactions in. So in Xero, you can create what we call rules, so that when the transaction comes through, it looks at the name and creates a rule, and it says, oh, well, we'll code this to motor vehicles or rent. And the great thing is you can even do splits. So you can do a fixed amount split, or a percentage split. So maybe on your motor vehicles, when you're filling up your car, you have a percentage split on business. So 80% business, 20% personal. So you can do splits or you can do fixed amounts. So rules are a great way of quickly getting the data in. So I'm just going to quickly reconcile a couple more. So I've gone from 28 transactions down to 20 really quickly, because remember, bank recs is all about getting your accounts aligned and up to date so you can see your real-time position. So we now go back to our dashboard. I'm not going to do a full bank rec, because the bank rec's a bank rec. Let's do the most important thing. Who loves billing people? Billing people should be the most important part of the day. You should do, when's the best time to bill someone? When you've just done the job and it's all working. So, I'm going to show you how you can actually bill people on your mobile phone there and then while they're in front of you. But for the moment, I'm just going to show you the desktop version. So we're just going to come into money coming in. Now, what I love about this is the visual nature. Straight away, you can move over here and see that Cherie Bond, I can phone her up. I don't even have to click. This is just from the front screen. DISR, Cherie Bond, you owe us some money. Isn't that a faster way to get paid? Who here knows their top 5 debtors right now? Because this is fairly basic business information that you should know. Who are your top 5 debtors? How exposed are you? Because you only have to have a hiccup. So what I'm going to do is, if I hit the pie chart here, I can see that, I'm quite exposed to, Nick from Pinnacle Management. And this is important. This is called debtor exposure. So this is your top 5 debtors. How exposed are you? Because even though you might be within trading terms, you're highly leveraged to them. They only have to have a hiccup and all of a sudden they can't pay you. Therefore, you can't pay your suppliers. All of a sudden you can't stop anymore. So it's really important to have that debtor exposure. Sorry about this. I'm just getting another call. Sorry about that. So it's really important to have debtor exposure shown to you. What I'm going to do now is do a sale. So let's go and sell something. So this is the invoice screen. I'm just going to quickly check to see if I've got any questions. So hold on for a quick sec. No. Cool. So I'm going to pick up an invoice. So I'm just going to type in Boom FM, picks up the company name automatically. Now it's all about getting your invoicing in quickly. If I type 1, it's the 1st of the month, 18th of the month, 12th of the month. So just get the data in quickly. I'm going to just say 1st, 19th, pick up a branding. Branding's really good because you can customize all your invoices in Xero. So you can change all the colors, the fonts, the logos, etc., and do some really nice branding with it. The other thing branding is good for is if you do quotes. I don't know if any of you on the webinar today do quotes, but say you do quotes, what you can actually do is change the brand of one of these to be quote, and you say the word quote all the way through here instead. Then what happens is when you do the invoice, you keep it as a draft invoice with the brand quote. So you'll see down here, when you'll just save it, so it'll save as a draft. Then when the client decides to go ahead, you change it from being draft to approving it, and then you can change it if they've decided to, often quotes, they want adjustments and amendments. My business process here when I do events actually is I have 2 invoices. I do the first invoice and then approve it straight away. And then I have a part payment system. So the second one, I save as a draft invoice. It means I can then see my work in progress. The other good thing about Xero is it's got a thing called files. Now, files is something unique to Xero. With files, you can attach documents to your invoices. Wouldn't it be great if you maybe have a warranty or user guides or a maintenance sheet, etc.? You can actually attach that to your invoice. And it's called files, and you can keep storing that. It's all stored in the cloud, all secure. It's a great utility. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. So let's just sell some items now. So it's got a base level stock system, so you can do base level. It's not full-blown inventory, but you can do some things like have some items. You can have as much text as you like. I don't know what type of company this is. They seem to sell golf balls and they do Microsoft support and training. Pretty interesting. You can move everything around. You can have by unit price set up, etc. As much text as you like, and you can move everything goes around as well, so you can move it up and down around the screen. Now, this is what I like. Xero has what's called tracking or classes, categories. So Xero uses a thing called tracking. A lot of products call it classes or categories. You can have 2 of these. It's a great way of looking at your accounts and saying, what's my most profitable salesperson, profitable region, profitable store, department, division, job. So what you can do, now in here, I've set this up to be called region, but you can change it to be any word you like. And I'm just going to pick these up. Now with these, they could be anything you like, and you can have that one plus another one. So you can have 2 tracking categories. So I've set those up. I'm now going to approve it. Now that I've approved it, let's have a look at it. Now, you might have noticed it's got a full audit trail as well. So it's got a full audit trail, who changed what, when, etc. So full audit history. What I'm going to do now is let's just have a look at that invoice. So let's just print it out. Most people probably wouldn't print their invoices out these days. We tend to all email them, but let's just have a quick look. Now remember, your invoice is fully customizable. You can change your fonts, colors, etc. There's even companies out there that actually do this for you. And you can have your payment advice slips and you can accept various payment methods. Let's just go back. I want to show you something really exciting. Who's ever heard and get the message, oh, I never got a copy of your invoice? How many times do you hear that? Especially when you're using traditional desktop software, they tend to often say, oh, I never got a copy of the email, because most of us tend to email our invoices. I want to show you something that Xero does that's quite unique. So if you hit the email button, now here's some little hints and tips from somebody that does lots of invoicing. I always do this too whenever I do my invoices. I don't know about you, write something quirky on the front line, on the top line. You know what? Here's just a little tip from me. People notice that a human's done it all of a sudden. Oh, it's not been done by someone's actually stopped and paused to look at it. So much fun running your event today. I always write something, assuming you're not doing lots of invoices. Now, here's a couple of tricks that I do. I never include a copy of the invoice. Now, straight away, you're going to be sitting there going, What does that mean? Well, Xero has what's called online invoices. What it'll do is send this person an email with a link to the invoice, but it's an online invoice, so they'll click on it. Now, there's lots of benefits to you. Straight away, we'll know when they opened it, when they clicked on it, and it even has a big Pay Now button. How cool is that? So if you think about it, this is going to be a great way of showing when people have opened invoices, clicked on them, did they click it to send it to their bookkeeper, who's opening, and make it easy for your clients. So they can actually hit the Pay Now button on that online invoice and pay it. And they can even, and because it's an online invoice, it's dynamic. So maybe you've invoiced them for $500, but they weren't quite happy about it. So they want to short pay you. So they might hit the Pay Now button and say $400. It'll immediately update on the screen dynamically saying, by the way, you still owe us $100. I'm going to show you what my business practice is. So we actually do this here in my firm. So I click on the invoice button. And what I can do is each morning we click on and we can see here, now because this is demo data, I can't, but on that little green tick, I can click on it and it'll show me when they've opened it, who opened it, did they forward it to anybody. So it stops that problem of, hey, I never got a copy of the invoice. It stops it straight away. I love it. So straight away, we've told two of your biggest problems. You've now got real-time accounting, your balance. You can look at, from the dashboard, your balance in your bank and really improve the time it takes to do your bank rec. So you save yourself some time, and time is money. You've now got real-time accounting and you can start invoicing straight away and get paid quicker. You know your debtor exposure, but more importantly, you know more of this, I never got a copy of the invoice. Now, at some stage, you're going to have to pay people. It's called karma, you know. And most of us, the reason why we struggle sometimes with paying people is because of our cash flow. You know, people aren't paying us. So if we get all our cash flow aligned, we can start paying people. Let's talk about money going out. Now, Xero's got a full purchase order system as well. So if you do need purchase orders, Xero's got that as well. I'm just going to make that. So these are our purchases and our purchase order screen. You notice we've got 3 accounts that we need to pay straight away over here on the overdue. So if we hit the overdue button, and I'm going to just talk through. So we've got 3 accounts that we need to pay. Now maybe we need to bump that one out because we can't. There's just some realities. We don't have enough money in the bank to pay that one, so we can push it out if we want to. But in this case, I'm going to pay all 3. Now I'm going to make an assumption that you all do electronic banking. So I'm going to do what's called electronic banking and make what's called a batch payment, which is an ABA. What happens is it creates a little file. So we can select these 3. We determine when we're going to pay them, say on Thursday, from which bank, and then I hit make payment. It'll then create what's called an ABA file. It'll save that ABA file onto your desktop. You then open up your internet banking. It'll then suck in that ABA file and pay those people. And it's even got a remittance advice slip as well. Really efficient way of getting and paying people. But let's go back and go back into our sales, our purchases, I should say. And we're going to put a bill in. Now, a bill is a bill. Most of us are used to putting in bills, but I want to show you some really fancy things you can do. So we hit new. And I'm just going to show you the file functionality in Xero. So in Xero, you can hit the files button and upload files again. Remember, you can attach files anywhere. And I don't know if I've got an invoice. Telstra bill. Open it up. So that Telstra bill will now be attached to that record forever. So it's now solved that problem. How many of you ever had your accountant or your bookkeeper say, have you got a copy of this? And it's really hard to find. So now you've got a copy of it stored in the cloud securely for you forever. So it means it solves that problem of, oh, can you find this piece of paperwork? I want to show you that again in a little bit more of an example. I'm going to go back up into the asset register. So Xero has a full asset register. So wouldn't it be great that maybe on your laptop, you can actually attach maybe the warranty card for it or anything like that you need, or a user guide. Now, this in your asset register can be good because you can even think about things like, work history or, machinery maintenance schedules, etc., and when it's been done. So it's a really good tool. So that's called Files. So if you think about it, what we've done now, we've now got ourselves up to date. So we've now got real-time accounting. So our bank balance normally would be correct. We've invoiced everybody. We've paid some bills, real-time in the screen. Let's do what we should be doing with our accounting system and understanding what's happening in our business. Because remember, your accounting system is more than just about collecting the GST. It's not about compliance. It's not telling you just about. There's no value in that. It's just it's a cost of doing business. What you should be doing with your accounting system is understanding what's really happening in your business, getting some real-time business insights. So what I'm going to do now is let's have a look at the reports. And this is where Xero is quite distinctly different to any other product and the power of its reporting products. So let's have a look at the reporting products. I'm going to do the standard profit and loss. And this is where you can still really get to understand what's happening in your business. And instead of maybe doing this at the end of the year with your accountant, you can now start working with Unicorn and doing this monthly, finding out what's happening in your business. So let's say you've got a business partner, and all of us have a business partner, whether it's, a real business partner, a wife, kids, etc., extended family partner. You do have somebody you need to report to, and you want to make some commentary. So I'm going to pull up my profit and loss, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go, hey, it looks pretty good. So I want to make a little commentary. What you can do in the reporting in Xero is actually write the report on the screen and save it and store it and then share it. So I'm going to add a little summary here saying, sales are looking really strong this year. Save that. Now, it's a full accounting system, so if you want to drill down, so if I want to look at the sales account, I can pull up that, and I want to show that account. So I want to include that. So I'm going to add the sales summary account. Maybe I want to look at all the transactions as well, so I can say, you can drill down into showing everything as transactional. The reporting is very flexible. And that's what I love. You can keep drilling right down to transaction. I'm going to add that to the report. And let's continue through. I keep looking through. I notice my legal expenses are a bit high, so I can add a little footnote. And now the product allows you this flexibility and power in writing reports. So, sorry about the high legal expenses. We'll review next month an alternative lawyer. So I've added lots and lots of commentary. You can customize all these reports. But now, how do you get it to your business partner? How do you save it? How do you want to look at it? It's simply by publishing it. So if you hit the publish button, so this is my profit and loss for August. And I'm now going to publish it. And here's where it's a little bit of a mind shift. You've got to remember, under reports, under published, here's my profit and loss. So it's basically like a virtual filing cabinet for me where I can store all my files. So you never have that problem of, I can't find it. Now you can lock down who can look at these. So I'm just going to have a look at our profit and loss. So there's our profit and loss. Sales are looking really strong this year. You notice I put a little footnote. So it automatically numbers the footnotes for you, resequences, and nothing you have to do. Here's my sales company. Here's all my transactions. So you can customize and get right granular with this. But wouldn't it be great if you could do some what ifs? If you think about it, I don't know about you, but I love trying to figure out, okay, well, what if my business, if we can either sell more or reduce our costs, increase our margin, what do we need to do to improve our profitability? And this is where the power of accounting, and especially Xero, is all that what if. How can I really understand my business? So if I hit export to Excel, now you can export to Excel or Google Docs. I want to show you this. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger for you all. Now, the beauty of this is everything comes across, all your numbers, all your formulas. You can then start changing all the dates, or even the notes come across. If you notice, even the footnotes, it's the only product that does that. And you can then start changing it, and everything changes if you notice. All the formulas. So you can start understanding and getting better business insight. So remember, accounting software is not about collecting the GST. It's about getting better business insight. What's happening in my business? What are my key drivers? Even the transactions. So you notice it comes across as multi-tabs. So if you had multiple tabs, parts of your report, they all come across. This is the power. Let's go back and let's do some more reporting. So I've sent that to my report to my business partner. So they've just logged into Xero, had a look at the report, and went, doesn't seem right. They're not too sure. They've had a look at it, but they can't figure out what's not happening. So what we're going to do is, sorry about that, do a profit and loss. Ooh, just lost internet connection. Sorry about that, I think. Hold on for a second while I just... Sorry about this. I think I just dropped out my internet connection. And if I have, that's fine, because it is a good example of showing you what happens when you lose. Oh, no, I haven't. That's just me. Don't worry. That's just Wayne having one of those days. Let's go back and do our profit and loss. Okay, so we're going to pull out our profit and loss. So remember I was saying, not too sure, something seemed a little bit wrong in my reports. Now, I looked at my profit and loss, looks really good, but my business partner was looking at it and wasn't too sure. So they thought, doesn't seem right. Now, this is where you can start working with your accountant. So you can start working with Unicorn and working real time. So they can log in and say, well, let's have a look at it and compare it by region instead. So if we look at it by region, then we can see the problem. Even though sales are strong, the southern region is not performing. So I can make a little note. So this is your accountant doing this. So this is Unicorn saying, actually, the southern region performance is very low. This is the beauty of doing cloud, because now you don't have to worry about data files. This is one of the other things I wanted to talk about, is the whole data file issue that you deal with. Now, data files just make it so hard for your accountant to work with you and your bookkeeper, because you can't do real time. You've got to back it up. You've got to try and send it to him. It's an old version, so he upgrades it and can't send it back. There's just no way of collaborating real time using data files. It's just too inefficient. So what Unicorn have done, gone through, looked at the report, and then published it. So he's going to publish this report. So this is where you can start getting into that granular detail. is going to be our profit and loss for August by region. We publish it. And what we're going to do is end up getting a lovely library. So this is our profit and loss by region. Now remember, it's a snapshot at that point in time. So you now can start getting better visibility. So, your accountant and you are working together. I want to do one more report up. Let's go and pull out profit and loss. Who here does a budget? I know most of us possibly might not be doing budgets. I know it's painful. I'm first to admit that you put your hand up and go, oh, budget. Oh, do I have to? And you kind of stump your feet. But budgets are great because with a budget, and really you need to work with your accountants. You've got to work with someone like Unicorn who will help you with your budget and setting it up so that you can then measure your performance. And then some of it's just basic goal setting. And that's what I love about budgets. If you set a goal, no matter whether you get to it or not, you can measure yourself and then you can start working your business instead of just letting the business work you. So I love doing budgeting, but the great thing about budgets in Xero is the way they're read. So I'm just going to publish this one. This is our profit and loss. August actual versus budget. Publish it. So here's our profit and loss, August actual versus budget. And you're going to love this report. It's really beautiful. I like that Xero is intelligent. It realizes it's going to have to put it in landscape mode, so it puts it in landscape mode. And, green is good, red is bad. Really simple. Work with your accounting firm to get you that budget. Sometimes you'll need a kickstart, but it's got a great budgeting tool within there. One other report I want to do and talk about is, who here knows some of the basic business fundamentals? Can you answer how many invoices you raised last month and what was the average value? Pretty basic, what we call key performance indicators, KPIs. How many invoices did you raise and how much was the value? Did it go up? Did it go down? Who here knows their average debtor days? Are they above the industry norm? How many days does it take people to pay you? And how many days does it take you to pay people? So this is something that Unicorn can do for you, is produce management reports. People stopped doing management reports because of desktop software. It was just too slow. You couldn't get the data to your account quick enough. You weren't on the right versions. You had to rekey. By the time you did it, it was too late. Now with cloud, you can do these very cool management reports. I'm going to just pull this one up. So this is something that Unicorn can do for you. And I'll just do a nice little, it could be 2 pages, it could be 20 or 30 pages. It depends on how much information you want in the report. So here's a little exec summary. Just telling you a warning about watching your sales performance, your cash, your profitability. But I love this. You should know these numbers. How many invoices did you raise and what was the average value? Did it go up or did it go down compared to last month? With this, you now can start working on your business, really working on your business. Average debtor days, is it above the new industry norm? And debtor days is critical because that's most of the problem. We all do great work. The problem is people just don't pay us. So it's really important that people pay us. That's why you need to be watching that number like a hawk. And then creditor days. That's another one because what happens is your debtor day flows out, so people stop paying you, so therefore you can't pay your suppliers, and all of a sudden one of them puts you on stop, and then all of a sudden there's a cascading effect, and you're the one that's in the cash squeeze. And I'm going to talk about how you can bookkeeper can help you do some really cool things. So just please scroll through. I like this. This is your P&L by cash, so you can see what's happening in the movements in your bank. Normal profit and loss. Now remember, all of this is fully customizable, so you can change it to whatever you want. Balance sheet, but I like this, your receivables. What you can do is maybe your bookkeeper can be doing this. Why aren't they chasing all your debtors instead? Because once they've done the bank rec and got everything online, now they can do the real good stuff and help improve your cash flow by phoning everybody up, chasing your debtors, making little notes. And so in Xero, you can make notes against each person, when they're going to pay, who you spoke to, what day they're going to be in to actually, do an EFT for you. Drill into that. That's the value add. So the management reports, they're just beautiful. There's a really good opportunity for you. What I want to do now is just quickly come back. I'm just going to log out of Xero. Before we do that, just go back to the dashboard. High level summary again. Remember, you can have all your bank accounts, credit cards, PayPal, real time, so daily bank feeds, you don't pay for the feeds, ready for you to reconcile. And it's all about learning your behaviors. Get the data in quickly so you've got real time. You can set up some watch lists. Money coming in. Remember the beauty about attaching files as well. You can see your top 5 debtors at a glance. You can see their phone numbers. Give them a call. Money going out. Keeping track of any documentation, especially like in your asset register. It stops that, hey, I never got a copy of the, your bookkeeper finding out, where's a copy of this? But more importantly, it's the reporting side of Xero. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to just log out. The other thing Xero does is Xero integrates with some awesome products. So over 300 products integrate with Xero. Integration is really important because what that means is Xero is your back office system, and then you might want something like a front office system. So maybe you need a point of sale solution. And the great thing about here is you now have choice. So there's lots of point of sale solutions, because each point of sale solution is for that particular industry type. So simple salon, which is specifically for the hairdressing. Then, which is a great point of sale for retailers. Here's a really cool dive center product. So there's lots of products. So that's another point of differentiation, is the power of how many products integrate with Xero. I'm just going to go back to my slides now. I'll just quickly check. And just bring up my oops, sorry about that. So what I want to do now is just show you some other functionalities available on Xero. So what we're going to do is, this should work. Yay. You should now get a copy of my iPhone on your screen. So you should be now able to see my iPhone. So this is a live iPhone. Let's just hope I don't get any more phone calls halfway through the presentation like I was just getting just then. So what I'm going to do is show you some functionality that Xero has. So one of the things is it's got a product called Xero Touch. Xero Touch is free. It comes with your subscription to Xero. Works on your iOS devices and your Android device. So if you've got an Android device or an iOS, either iPhone or an Android phone, it works. I'm just going to log in. And we're going to log into the demo company. Now, straight away, you can see your bank balance is feeding through onto your phone as well. So we can look at our bank balance. And why is this important? Because straight away, you could do an actual bank reconciliation on your phone. So if you happen to be traveling in traffic or anything like that, because remember, if you do your bank rec regularly, often it's only going to be a minor amount of transactions that you have to reconcile. And that means you've now got real-time accounting. So we can go through and do our bank rec. What I am going to do is also just show you the invoicing. This is a really good solution. So what you often do is this. Say you're doing some work for a client. So I'm doing some work for City Limousines. So they've called me out again. What I can do is actually pull up their invoices. So I might be out the front of their office and go, oh, they owe me some money. So I click on City Limousines, $660. Hey, they owe me money. So I'm sitting in my car. I do that, pull it up, hit save and send. I can then go, and I can even make a note. Just walking in. Can you make sure You pay this. Pay this. Now remember, this is an online invoices. This is the power of Xero. Remember, it's one of these that has the link as well. I hit save and send. It'll now send that invoice. So then what will happen is when you walk into the office, the receptionist will go, or, you say, oh, by the way, you haven't paid your account. And they go, oh, I haven't got a copy of it. You hit, oh, yes, hit send receive on your email. It's going to come through in the next 10 seconds. Hit send receive. They've got it. And because it's an online invoice, and if you set up electronic payments, you can accept the payment. They'll accept the payment. Hit the big pay now button, and we've improved your cash flow. Invoice there and then on the fly. The only other thing I'd like to show you is there's another product that I often use, so you can do invoicing, expenses, etc. Is a product called Receipt Bank. And Receipt Bank's really cool. Hold on for a second, because I need to actually, and I've forgotten, but I don't actually have a receipt to take a photo of. So bear with me while I quickly grab a receipt. The beauty of a live demonstration. Sorry about that. I didn't have a receipt, goodness me. So what I'm going to do is show you a product. It's called Receipt Bank. It's an add-on product. So it's a product that integrates with Xero. So there is an additional fee, and Unicorn can work through you with this. What I'm going to do is pull it up. So it's a little product though. If I go to add item, take a photo, and if I now if I hit use photo, and if I then hit submit for processing, what Receipt Bank will do will convert that into a transaction and send it into Xero for you with a copy of the photo. But it'll be an actual transaction. So it means you've saved processing time. You haven't had to enter that in. So it's fantastic for improving the time it takes getting stuff into the computer when you've got receipts and that. So it's called Receipt Bank. Lovely product. I use it myself. So fantastic. I'm not going to go and submit that. And we're just going to go back. And I'm just going to pull up our slides. We'll soon close off. So finally, let's have a quick chat about payroll. So in Xero, it's got a full payroll system. And the great thing about the Xero payroll system is it's got an employee portal, which is fantastic. This is where staff can log into a secure version of Xero. It's cut down, so it only shows them their portal where they can print out their pay slips. They can print out their PAYG summary. They can check out how much annual leave they've got. It'll also even allow them to apply for annual leave. So it's a great self-service. So again, that saves you a lot of time because you don't have to worry about staff having to, be the person that has to print out their pay slips for them because they've forgotten, they need the last 3 pay slips because they're going for a home loan at ANZ. Or they're going to see Unicorn and they've lost their PAYG summary and you've got to print another one out. Well, it's all self-serve. The great thing also is Xero allows you to do your super payments for you automatically. I would use the super payment functionality just so it stops you having to rekey. If you think about how much time it takes you to rekey all that data in to pay all the super funds for all your employees, you're saving so much time because it just does it automatically. And obviously, Xero's got full leave management, so staff can apply for leave and they do it all online. So there's no forms, no pieces of paper floating around. So that's fabulous. So we're just going to wrap up. We're right on time. I'm just going to try. Who wants to, if you think about it, have their bank balances fed directly into your accounting system? I would love that. Who would like to reduce the time it takes doing your bank reconciliations? Because bank reconciliations don't add you value. Get your data up to date, and then you can start doing the great thing. Stop clients saying, I never got a copy of the invoice. Well, now you can prove whether they've got it, whether they've opened it, and you can even make it easy for them to pay. who would like to easily access all your receipts, your invoices, agreements, with that files functionality in Xero. So everything's there, stored there in the cloud for you securely. And then finally, stop rekeying your staff information in for superannuation payments. It's just a big burden that you don't need to do. And if you do all that, then that improves your cash flow and allows you to get better business insights. Who would like to get much better business insights? So what Unicorn are doing, so it's only available to the end of this month, so the end of August, they will actually pay for your first 2 months subscription of Xero. So they'll actually subscribe and handle the subscription for you for the first 2 months. They'll set that up. That's an awesome offer. So congratulations. Thank you so much, Unicorn, for doing that. Also, if you're on MYOB, they'll actually convert your MYOB into Xero, and they'll run a business health check. So business health check is running through one of those management reports. Let's see what's really happening in your business. So really helping you with your business. I want to thank everybody so much. We're now going to open up to questions.